Impulse and momentum are two ideas in physics that go hand in hand. One describes how much motion something has, and the other one describes how that motion changes exactly. Momentum. Momentum is the product of an object's mass and its velocity. It's written as this. You can think of momentum as the inertia of motion. The heavier something is, or the faster it's moving, the more momentum it carries. That's why it's much harder to stop a bowling ball rolling down a lane than a ping pong ball moving at the same speed as the bowling ball. Momentum is a vector quantity, which means it has both magnitude and a direction. If a car is moving east with a certain velocity, its momentum also points east. If it suddenly if it suddenly turns around and goes west, the direction of its momentum changes as well. Now, let's talk about impulse. Impulse is what happens when a force acts over a period of time. Mathematically, impulse is defined by this equation. You can also think of it as the area under a force versus time graph. Impulse measures how much a force changes an object's momentum. This connection is known as the impulse-momentum theorem. In other words, the total impulse acting on an object equals the change in its momentum. Let's make that idea more concrete. Imagine hitting a baseball with a bat. When the bat makes contact, it applies a very large force, but only for a short time, maybe a few milliseconds. That short burst of force creates a huge impulse which completely changes the ball's momentum and sends it flying. Now, compare that to catching the same baseball. When you catch it, you pull your hand backwards as it makes contact. That increases the time the force acts, which reduces the amount of force that you feel. The impulse is the same. It still has to stop the ball's momentum, but spreading it over more times makes it weaker. The idea is also why cars have airbags and crumple zones. When a crash happens, the car extends the time over which the stopping force acts. The longer the collision time, the smaller the force needed to bring you to rest. Again, same impulse, smaller force though. So, momentum tells us how much motion something has. Impulse tells us how that motion changes when a force is applied over time. And the impulse momentum theorem connects these two perfectly. In a single sentence, impulse is the bridge between force and motion. It explains how every kick, push, hit, or collision translates into a change in velocity. Whether it's a rocket launch, a car crash, a tennis serve, baseball, the impulse and momentum describe how forces shape motion in the real world.